Okay, folks, welcome to Get Good. Today's topic is Get Good at Co-op, and we have special guest Charlotte, co-op student at RCD, to talk about her experience here. And we're gonna talk about other things as well. So stay tuned. We're gonna start in about 2 minutes. And if you're watching a recording of this, be sure to fast forward to the start time of the show, and stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're starting in 10 seconds. All right, let's start. Hi folks, my name is Ian. Welcome to another episode of Get Good. Today's topic is about Get Good at Co-op, and I have special guest Charlotte here with us. Charlotte, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you enjoying this crazy weather? One day is hot, the other day is cold. What do you think about that?
I like it when it's warm, so I'm always disappointed when it starts raining again. But I guess we're just inside all day, so it doesn't matter too much.
Very good. Now, I know that my first question is, of course, to ask you to introduce to our viewers who you are. And I also understand that you're not from around here. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I'm from Victoria. That's where I grew up, and I moved to Vancouver in 2018 to start school, and kind of went back and forth from Victoria and Vancouver for the first couple of years, but now I've been more permanently in Vancouver for the past around 2 years.
And what is it like? Like, I've only been to Victoria several times. Is it as busy as here, or is it just more down-to-earth, quiet town?
Yeah, it's a lot more quiet. Fewer people for sure, less busy. There's more to do here, I think, so I like that. But there are definitely perks of Victoria. Like, it's so easy to get to the beach there.
Okay.
You can kind of just always walk to the ocean, which is really nice, and something that I miss here. Like, I have to take a bus sometimes,
Right.
which to me feels really far. But yeah, getting around on the bus is a lot easier here, so that's nice. In Victoria, the buses are kind of terrible. So.
And you don't drive here in Vancouver?
No, I don't drive in Vancouver. When I'm in Victoria, I usually have to drive if I want to get anywhere in like a decent amount of time, because the bus will just take so much longer. But I think here it's okay to not have a car most of the time, which I
Yes.
appreciate, because it's kind of expensive and like a hassle.
Oh yeah, having a car with the gas price and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's expensive. Doing maintenance on the car is expensive. Parking your vehicle is expensive. Just getting gas for your vehicle. It's a good choice. Public transit is the way to go.
Yeah, it's like good for the environment and everything too. So I'm happy to be doing that.
Our topic today is co-op. So let's talk about co-op. So my question here is, why did you decide to take a co-op work term?
Yeah, so I kind of applied to the co-op program on a bit of a whim when I was in third year, so that was over a year ago now. But I realized that I didn't really have much work experience that would actually like be super relevant to jobs that I'd want to do after graduation, and I started to get a bit worried about that. So I looked into applying for the co-op program, and I just thought, like, seems like a good option to have. So I applied kind of not totally sure if I would actually do it. And then I got in and I was like, well, might as well do this now because it seems like it will get me something really valuable.
And work experience, tell us, some of the viewers may not realize, why is work experience so important for you right now?
Well, if you have like experience with sort of an entry-level position, then it looks good on your resume and you can sort of like move up more in the world. Whereas before starting the co-op program, all my jobs that I had, like I had work experience, but it was all customer service jobs. So that wasn't something that people were necessarily that excited about when they saw my resume. And then even applying for my first co-op work term, which I did last summer, it was kind of hard to find a job just with that experience. But then once I got a job, then that looked better on my resume, and I think that was really valuable when applying to RCD. So it's sort of just a way of like gaining traction when it comes to like building your career.
Now, speaking of RCD, why did you end up picking RCD?
Well, I'm kind of interested in like nonprofit type of jobs. I had a nonprofit job last summer, which was at sort of a similar organization to RCD, but doing something really different. So I thought this would be like a good point to go from that job where I would be like working for a similar organization, so had relevant experience, but it was also an opportunity to try something new because the job I worked last summer was as a summer camp leader for youth with developmental disabilities.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it still was disability related, but then this is like more of an office job, which I've never worked before. So it just seemed like a good place to go from last summer.
You're getting a variety of experience, and especially in working with people with disability. Wow.
Yeah, and I really liked my job last summer, so I was like totally keen to keep doing stuff sort of similar to that.
Very cool. Now, so for viewers watching online, you're free to type in your questions. We'll try our best to answer that. Let me just check with Jer. She's behind the scene. Let's see if there are questions for us right now. One question, okay? Go ahead.
So Emma is wondering, after joining the co-op program, will it delay your graduation date?
Okay, so the question is about co-op program. Will that delay your graduation date?
Yes, it will. So to get your co-op designation, you have to work 3 work terms. My first 2 have been in the summer, so that didn't really make a huge difference. But then I should be doing my last one in the school year next year. But I'm totally fine with graduating a bit late if I get a better experience out of my degree and like feel more prepared for getting a job after. So that was not too much of a loss for me.
That's good that you're thinking this way, because I know some people, they graduate and they have 0 amount of work experience, and it was at that point they realized it's very hard to secure a job. Even though they have their degree and everything, they just seem to have a tough time competing with folks who had work experience and they also have their degree.
Exactly,
right? So
yeah.
that you're a step ahead. Very, very good. Okay, so let us go on with my question. So what do you do at RCD, and especially tell us a little bit, but not everything, just the projects that you've been working on?
Okay, yeah, so my job title here is project assistant, which really encompasses a few different things. I work at the front desk, so I'm kind of doing some like receptionist stuff. I answer the phones and I talk to people who are bringing in their parking permit applications. But then like the project side of that is that I also work on other things. So if I'm assigned a project, I work on that, and then I also have my own project that I'm working on that I kind of created myself, which is around RCD's social media, and I have a few things related to that going on. Should I talk about that?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Tell us more.
I have an Instagram giveaway that I'm organizing that we are actually starting next week, so everyone can stay tuned for that. Check out our Instagram account on Tuesday for a chance to win some cool prizes. And I've also been working on creating some Instagram infographics, which are a way to teach Instagram users about some interesting topics pertaining to disability. And then I've also just kind of like taken a look at our social media and come up with some general changes to make the accounts more like visually appealing and user friendly.
Seems like you're doing a lot of different types of work within
Yes.
RCD. Wow, that's really, really amazing. So do you find that difficult in terms of the multitasking?
Yeah, a little bit, but I think I'm getting like more used to going back and forth, which I think is a good skill to have. Yeah, I think because I created my own project that had sort of like 3 different elements to it, I was able to create a timeline of that for myself. But then, when I get other things to work on top of that, sometimes
course.
I get a little bit overwhelmed. But I think when I am able to just like take a step back and then just think like, what are the priorities here, I'm always able to figure it out pretty quickly. So I think it's been a good learning experience in terms of that.
And you can only get this kind of experience when you're doing a co-op, right? I don't imagine if you're just doing your regular schoolwork, you'll get this type of work experience or this type of maybe pressure in a sense. But it's good that you can experience a little bit of what work is like
Yeah,
10 years
exactly.
down
It's
the
been
road,
great.
what work it will be like. Yeah, that's
Yeah, and everyone at RCD is like super nice, so I think it's a really great way to sort of get used to doing that, because like if I ever need help with anything, everyone's super happy to like answer any questions, So it's not too much pressure. I think it's a good amount of pressure for me to learn, but not to be like too stressed.
Thank you. Hey, you guys, we're all nice here. Awesome. Now, what have you encountered as a challenge? Are you able to share a little bit about that with us?
Yeah, so I think maybe the thing that's been the most challenging is like working in a more self-directed way than I've ever done before, because I do have my own project that I've created myself. And when I started here, I was kind of just told like, oh yeah, you can just work on a project, like come up with it yourself, whatever you want to do. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so many options. So I had to like come up with that myself and then start working on it myself and write a proposal for it, which I'd never done before. And then like lead meetings about it and kind of make everything happen on my own, which in my jobs in the past, I've usually been assigned things to do. So that's something that I feel like has been a bit of a challenge, but hopefully one that I've risen to.
I think one of the staff commented on your reports or your proposal. They're very well written and very well organized.
Oh,
So,
thank you. Yeah, I
and-
wasn't sure what the
yeah.
format should be for a proposal, so I was like having to look stuff up online, but I think I managed to figure it out.
thank you, and you're on a good path. I like where you're heading.
Thank you.
Let me check with chat and see if we have any questions. We have 2 questions. All right,
Okay.
let's hear it.
So Wilson is wondering whether Charlotte like here more or Victoria.
Okay, so Wilson's question is about, hey, do you like Victoria more or do you like Vancouver more?
Okay, I'll give sort of a complicated answer, but I think for where I'm at in my life right now, I'm really happy to be here. So right now I like Vancouver more, but I'm very happy to have grown up in Victoria because there's like a really nice community and really easy to walk around, and the neighborhood I grew up in especially had like a really great community there. So I'm happy to have grown up in Victoria, but I'm also happy that I was able to leave and experience something like a bit bigger for where I'm at in my life now.
Great answer.
Thank you.
Thanks. And next question.
Ella is asking what is her ideal future job or career path?
Ooh, this question is about your future.
Oh my goodness.
Charlotte, what's your ideal job, ideal career down the road?
I honestly don't totally know, which is another reason why I thought doing co-op would be a good idea, because it sort of gives me some opportunity to explore different types of jobs and see what I like. I've always liked the idea of a job where I can like feel like I'm helping people, which is why the nonprofit sector seemed appealing to me. But I don't know if I have like an ideal future job, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think maybe there's like an element of, like I'm open to what comes to me, so that might be a good thing. But sometimes I'm just like, I don't know.
You're still young.
Yeah,
right?
I think
So
I'll figure it out. But to answer the question, I don't totally know right now.
sometimes it's good, so you can explore different paths that is coming your way. And,
Yeah, exactly.
And
there's
for
so
you,
many.
yeah, you seem to be prepared just about for anything.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, there are a lot of different things out there, so I think it's good to like get a sense of what's out there before totally committing to something.
Sorry, what did you say you were studying right now?
Oh, I didn't actually say that yet. So I'm majoring in sociology and then minoring in psychology.
Okay, awesome. And now let's talk about some of the advices that, since you have some experience with you as a co-op student in different organizations, what are some of the advice that you have for other people planning or maybe just thinking that should they go into co-op or not? Do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, I actually do. So I'm happy you asked this question because I feel like when I started co-op, I didn't totally know what to expect. My biggest piece of advice is to be really open-minded when you're looking for jobs because it can be actually really competitive to get a co-op job. So if you're being really picky, you might not actually find a job. When I was looking for a job for last summer, I was having a really hard time, and I think I got to a point where I was just kind of like applying for any job that I felt like I was qualified for, and I think that ended up being a good thing because the job that I ended up getting wasn't one that I was like all that excited about, but then ended up really liking. So I think just like, you know, pushing your boundaries with what you think you would like is like my main piece of advice, and also just sort of be patient when you're looking because it can be discouraging if you're just getting like a bunch of rejections, because like I think the right job usually will come along.
Now I have a picture here with you holding 2 dogs.
Yes.
So tell us, what was that about?
Well, one of the dogs is Billy, who is here a lot. And I think we all love having Billy around. It always like makes my day when Billy's in the office. He reminds me of my dog that I had when I was growing up. Okay. So I particularly have a soft spot for Billy. And then Dave brought in another dog along with Billy. I'm not even sure like what this other dog was doing here, but
he was dog sitting basically.
Okay, that's good to know. I was just like, oh, another dog, and then got really excited. So that's where the photo was taken. You can't tell how excited I am in that photo because I'm wearing a mask, but I'm definitely smiling a lot.
Awesome. That looks really, really fun to hold 2 dogs.
Yeah, they're so cute and they're both so well behaved.
And there's a shot of you working at the front desk. So for those of you who are wondering, okay, who's this person at the front? Well, that's Charlotte. That's how she looks like when she's working. So that's a good shot. And we definitely want to capture the entire office. You can see almost like the entire office from this end. Very cool. All right. Let's see. Do we have any questions? Okay, we have. Well, it's the culture that you like at RCD?
Yeah.
The work culture, I suppose this question is related to. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I like how the office is really open, so everyone can kind of like see each other and communicate with each other throughout the day. It's nice for just creating a friendly environment, and everyone seems a lot more approachable when you're able to just like walk up to them. So that's something I like. I think just like the people are really nice here. Everyone was very welcoming to me when I arrived. I like how it's kind of like a fairly small organization, so you can kind of know everybody a little bit.
What I like about RCD is, like you said, everybody's very approachable, and we all have different areas that we focus on.
Yeah.
So if you want your computer fixed, you come to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. You want your check adjusted, or you talk to the accounting folks. All right. So I think in a way we divide and conquer, and I think that's what made us efficient. Mm-hmm. Thank you for that question. Do I have another question? Okay, we good. Okay, so now aside from co-op, I usually like to ask questions related to your lifestyle. So this is not part of my list of questions, but I just thought of it now. You've been here for several years now. So in terms of food and stuff like that, like how do you deal with that? Because I imagine at home when you were living with your parents would make your
yeah.
favorite food and stuff like that. So now that you're here, how do you deal with your meals?
Um, well, I kind of cook the same thing every day because I don't put a lot of effort into what I eat. I need to get better about it, but I think just like at the end of the day, I never have energy to cook. So usually what I make is I make some rice and then I put some tofu in it because I'm vegetarian. And then I also have frozen veggies that I'll fry up. So I'll fry up the veggies and the tofu and then have it with rice and then like soy sauce. I switch out the sauce.
You sound like you're like a Chinese, cuisine or of the sort, right? Yeah, that sounds almost Chinese.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then sometimes I'll switch it up a bit, but that is sort of my day-to-day meal. I eat that at least like 4 times a week, I would say.
As a student, do you guys go out to have meals often, or do you?
Yeah, sometimes. I actually ate out last night. I went to Rice Burger. I don't know if you've been there.
I think I know that place, yes.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I try not to eat out too much, but I kind of end up eating out.
It's a nice way to socialize, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think I maybe end up eating out like around once a week, maybe
that's
a little
good.
more depending on the week, but I try to save my money as much as possible by just like cooking my veggies and rice.
My family and I, we try to dine out maybe twice a week at most, but sometimes we hit the 3rd meal or the 4th meal.
I mean, it really depends what you're up to that
always
week.
Healthy when you cook at home, right? All that extra salt and sugar when you eat out there, it's not too healthy. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Okay, do we have another question? Okay, go ahead.
So Bernice is asking, what does Charlotte enjoy to do when she has free time?
Oh, okay. So this is a question. This question is about your free time. What do you enjoy doing when you have time, when you have free time?
Well, I'm a very social person, so pretty much every second that I'm not at work, I'm hanging out with my friends. I live with a bunch of my friends, so I kind of just go home and like hang out with my roommates.
Okay.
But I like to be outside a lot, so try to like get out to the beach or just even like out to my backyard or go on walks. That's something I do with my friends a lot. I also like music. I like to sing, so I was in a choir this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea you have so many interests. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I'd say like singing is maybe my main like organized hobby, I guess you would say.
I think you and I will need to get together.
Yeah.
We can do something for our YouTube channel.
Yeah. I mean, I won't say I'm like the most amazing singer in the world, but I do like doing it. So I think that's what matters.
We'll let the viewers decide.
Yeah, not right now.
Yeah, not right now. Yes. We'll come up with something. Thank you. Okay. We have a couple of minutes left. So any last comment before we wrap up? We have one more question. Okay. Let's hear it. Oh, okay. So this is a question about your choice of becoming a vegetarian. So why did you decide to do it?
Yeah, so I actually have been a vegetarian for more than 10 years now. I decided when I was, I think, like 10 years old that I wanted to stop eating meat.
Interesting.
To be honest, the main reason at the time was that I really disliked the taste of most meat, and my parents would always like make me eat meat, and I never wanted to eat it. And then my mom was like, well, if you hate meat so much, you should just become a vegetarian. And then I was like, fine, I will. And then I never stopped.
Wow.
But then now that I've like learned more about how it's like better for the environment and stuff like that, I feel like my views are aligned with that, but the initial reason was more just like being a stubborn child who didn't want to eat meat that my parents cooked for me.
Well, what do you know, huh? At the age of 10, you got it all figured out. Wow.
Yes.
Thank you. And maybe before we wrap up, any messages that you want to say to your folks at home? Just in case they may click on this video one day.
Oh my goodness. Now I'll have to make them watch it. There's a message. I don't know. My parents are very supportive. I'm really close with my family. And yeah, I'm very thankful for how supportive my parents have been of all my endeavors. Like anytime that I'm stressed about something, I still always call my parents and they're very helpful about it. So yeah, I'm very appreciative of the relationship I have with them.
Thank you, Charlotte. Folks, I think this is all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us. And if you're watching a recording, please remember we have this every month at the last Thursday of every month, right? So this is recorded, or you can join us live during that Thursday at 1 o'clock. Do remember to like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. My name is Ian, and thank you, Charlotte.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. I'll see you all next month. We do have a lot of things that we have planned on the YouTube channel. Get Good is just once every month, but we do have ShareNet that's gonna go live with a new theme, a new topic that's gonna happen every Monday at 3 o'clock. Have a good one. I'll see you all next week. Bye now.